A pleasant morning to everyone. Welcome to the 13th Annual Research Awards with the theme Facing the Challenges of Industry 4.0 Through Science and Technology, brought to you by the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. I am Engineer John de la Cruz from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines College of Engineering, and I will be your MC for this morning. So, to formally welcome us on this momentous event, may we call on the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Emmanuel C. de Guzman. Okay, so while we are still waiting for Dr. Emmanuel de Guzman, um, we would like to welcome everyone on this momentous event. I think we have waited for so long for due to the pandemic. So matagal-tagal din ang hinintay natin para maging okay or para maging ah, matagumpay itong event na ito. And it has been the 13th year that we are doing the annual research award. Uh, it was founded by I think it was founded by none other than the the current university president of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Dr. Manuel M. Muhi. So while we are still waiting for Dr. De Guzman, okay. So we can now proceed. So to give us a short message, maybe we would like to welcome the current Regional Director of the Department of Science and Technology, National Capital Region, Director Jose B. Patalinhog III.
To President Muhi, Dr. Manny de Guzman, Vice President Ana Gapasin, Dr. Teresita Fortuna, Dr. Edgar Garcia, Dr. Gino Andres, Engineer Tanasas, to the organizers of this 13th Annual Research Awards, participants, students, guests, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. It is an honor to join you in another celebration of the 13th Annual Research Awards. In time for an ongoing revolution amidst the pandemic crisis. This year's araw focuses on facing the challenges of Industry 4.0 through science and technology. Ushering a country to realize industrialization depends heavily on a strong research, development, and innovation base. Thus, our commendation to the organizers of this event for creating an avenue to exchange innovative ideas, expose scientific efforts, and encourage scientific interests. The UNESCO has prescribed that developing countries have a ratio of 380 researchers, scientists, and engineers for every million population. However, the Philippines currently has only 180 scientists per million in a population of about 110 million Filipinos. Clearly, we are way below the target. To address the gap, as such requires simultaneous actions for human resource development. As there is also a need to increase efforts parallel to the fourth industrial revolution age. As our human resource is currently limited, this furthers the need to ensure that researches create significant and transformative impact when translated. Translate your research to transform policies. During these ages, policies and programs proposed and implemented should be backed up by scientific data. As a vulnerable country with different vulnerable segments of people, we cannot afford to lose resources just because policies and programs implemented are grounded on wrong or worse, no scientific data at all. As researchers, there is a need to make your outputs available as evidences to back up policies and programs implemented in the country. Even if founded on good faith, policies not rounded up in scientific facts are challenged. And when policies and programs fail, a system is also bound to. Transforming policies goes before transforming a system. Maybe it is overwhelming to shake off a system to become better. Whatever system this is, scientific system, education system, healthcare, or governance, researchers are called to be disruptive and game-changing. Transforming a system through research will need probing and courageous scientists and researchers for innovation to work its influence in the decision-making process for public interest. Further, translating your researches to commercial entities transforms the economy. Let them not sit on shelves in library. Present your researches in various conferences in front of different audiences for them to hear that these results exist to add value to their current application, products, and businesses. Focus on commercializing your ideas. While we are in the age of another industrial revolution, focus on how enterprises can advance in the playing field through your research efforts. Lastly, translate your researches to transform the lives on the ground. Those who want to impact change are those who see what needs to be done and then act on them. There are problems yet to be recognized. Some may have been used to it, or some may have outgrown them. These problems call for solution that not all can see. I hope that you belong to the few who sees things in different perspective. If it is overwhelming to translate researches to transform policies or a system, and it is fact overwhelming to commercialize technology and research output, may it be customary for you to just look at the community and then think of how your research and ideas can transform the lives in it. The 13th araw focuses on scientific, commercialization, and innovation research categories. May our researchers be inspired to develop, create plans for translating and transferring these for the good of the public. Let us further create together opportunities to translate scientific knowledge to transform our policies, systems, and economy and communities. Again, my warmest congratulations to the organizers and participants of the 2020 Annual Research Awards. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Director Patalinhog, for that very short but inspirational message to everyone. And now let's proceed with our next, with another short message from the Director of the Technology Application and Promotion Institute of the Department of Science and Technology. Please welcome Engineer Edgar I. Garcia.
President Manuel Muhi, President Manny de Guzman, Vice President Manny de Guzman, all the officials and faculties of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Dr. Fortuna, Teresita Fortuna, President of Colegio de Muntinlupa, Regional Director Jojo Patalinhog of DOST NCR, our speakers, our participants, and our guest this morning. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. In behalf of the Technology Application and Promotion Institute, or DOST-TAPI, I extend my warmest greetings to the College of Engineering of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines for organizing the 13th Annual Research Award, or ARAW. As the lead agency of the Department of Science and Technology, DOST, in promoting the transfer and commercialization of technology through the provision of technical and financial assistance to emerging and innovative projects, DOST-TAPI is very pleased that PUP College of Engineering continues to recognize science, technology, and innovation as a stimulus to realizing rapid growth in economic and social development. I really appreciate and inspired by your particular program for including commercialization category in this year's event. Alam niyo po, ang TAPI is a service institute. The innovation done by DOST under the realm of Secretary Fortunato de la Peña, for your information, TAPI was included in the R&D cluster. It's for the first time that the Technology Application and Promotion Institute was included in the R&D cluster, or the RDIs. The reason is the research and development process will not be complete if not fully adopted and fully commercialized and fully used by the beneficiaries or the target users of the research results. Ito po ang dahilan kung bakit po napunta ang TAPI sa mga research cluster. And I really appreciate that this year's category include commercialization. For 12 years now, ARAW has been pioneering the search for the most outstanding research and give due recognition to engineering students around the country. We have a lot of projects and programs intended for the commercialization and transfer of technologies, starting from ideation down to commercialization. Alam niyo po, marami pong stage na kinakailangan bago po makomersyo ang isang research results. And with this, I'm very happy to invite all the winners to avail our existing programs from ideation down to commercialization. Harboring this year's theme, Facing the Challenges of Industry 4.0 Through Science and Technology, we are secured for our youth's future as scaling up technology for structural transformation and innovative engineering frameworks are given importance in this very challenging time. We are at the junction where the values of humanity is greatly put under test, with an uncertainty brought by the ongoing coronavirus disease and where the global economies have needed to reassess the strategies on public health management as the search for the cure and vaccine is still ongoing. Nevertheless, this is also a great opportunity to push our boundaries in always searching for innovations founded on research and development as they reach the local markets in every household. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate ARAW's effort through Engineer Joselinda Galpios overall supervision in conducting this event year and the near next year. Alam niyo po, supporter po ang DOST. Sinasabi ko pong supporter ang DOST because from the very start, TAPI, NCR, PShared have been supporting ARAW for many years. So with this, may you always continue to inspire the young and young at heart in staying inquisitive and thinking outside the box for strategies that architect and build the anatomy of a better tomorrow. Mabuhay po tayong lahat at ipagpatuloy natin ang hakbangin na may pagmamalasakit para sa kinabukasan ng ating bansa at ng mga kabataang Pilipino. Magandang umaga po muli sa inyong lahat. Salamat po.
Thank you very much, Engineer Edgar Garcia, for that very inspirational message. And before we proceed with our main event, let's watch this video from the DOST Technology Application and Promotion Institute.
A new dawn awakens, reaching for the skies, rising to the challenge, rushing to a brighter tomorrow. The Filipino inventor is leading the way, and the DOST Technology Application and Promotion Institute is with them for the journey. Today, everyday Filipinos reap the benefits of truly local innovation. This is TAPI's vision, to plant a culture of innovation and discovery among the Filipino people. TAPI believes in the importance of science education. Students now have a deep appreciation of science and technology through TAPI's programs that aim to spark the genius of invention in every young Filipino. TAPI passionately looks out for the well-being of the Filipino inventor by assisting them in the protection of their rights and in gaining tax exemptions for their hard work. The adoption of Filipino inventions made our industries more efficient and more productive and has led to new products being introduced to the market. TAPI makes possible projects that have created opportunities and employment for our people, raising standards to achieve global competitiveness. With the latest technologies, local industries have grown faster and are more productive. Farmers, fishermen, and other micro, small, and medium entrepreneurs can now bring their products to millions of homes both here and abroad. At the same time, the spirit of discovery has allowed new businesses and industries to emerge. TAPI works to build the capabilities of inventors to create new businesses out of their inventions and reap the financial rewards for their innovations. Now, more than ever, the genius of the Filipino is shining through. Techniques, machines, and innovations created by Filipino innovators are proudly exhibited to industry players and the public at large. From development to prototyping to promotion and industry adoption, TAPI has guided the Filipino into the dawn of a more prosperous day. But the new day of progress and prosperity is only beginning. The Filipino is leading the way, and the DOST Technology Application and Promotion Institute will be there for the journey.
So now let's proceed with our main event. So to start the event, let me introduce to you first the panel of evaluators. First, our first panel of evaluator is the Regional Director of the Department of Science and Technology, National Capital Region, Director Jose B. Patalinhog III. Our next evaluator is the Executive Director of the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, Dr. Enrico J. Paringit. Our next evaluator is the current President of the Colegio de Muntinlupa and the former Regional Director of the Department of Science and Technology, National Capital Region, Dr. Teresita C. Fortuna. Our next evaluator is a Sales and Marketing Manager of Manly Plastics Incorporated, Mr. Jonathan Koch. Next is the President of the Mega Review and Tutorial Center, Dr. Amelia T. Marquez. Our next evaluator is the former Chief of the Technology Diffusion Division of the Metals Industry Research and Development Center of the Department of Science and Technology, Dr. Danilo N. Pilar. Our next evaluator is the President of Migatsu Incorporated and the President of the College of Engineering Alumni Association Incorporated and the founder of DRAT TV, Engineer Rene A. Tenasas. And last but not the least, our Balik Scientist recipient and also the Director of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines Intellectual Property Management Office, Dr. Gino L. Andres. Also with us in the panel of evaluator is the Director of the Technology Applications and Promotions Institute, Engineer Edgar I. Garcia. Okay, so let's start on the presentation of the Annual Research Awards 2020 finalists. So let's start with the scientific research category. I would just like to remind our evaluators that you're given only 5 minutes for the question and answer and also for our presenters to present their researches in 5 minutes. So let's start with the scientific research category. So the criteria for judging: technical viability 35%, social impact and relevance 20%, execution and design of prototype 10%, contribution to the advancement of science and technology 35%, with a total of 100%. Okay, I think all of our researchers or all of our presenters are ready. So let's start with our first presenter. Our first presenter is from the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila with the research titled Catalytic Hydrogenation of Xylose-Derived Furfural from Gossypium hulls and zeamyce cobs for the production of Tetrahydrofuran, with the proponents Christine Baos, Ann Clarice Garcia, Eric Criston Guy, Micaela Gail Manzano, Princess Gabriel Santos, and with their advisor, Engineer Denver C. Pangayaw. Okay, so may we request the presenter to share their screen. Is PLM already here? So while still waiting for the still waiting for PLM. So this is the 13th year that we are doing the annual research award, and no pandemic can stop us from doing this event. And this has been a flagship event of Polytechnic University of the Philippines for the research and development. Okay, so I think PLM is already ready to present. So, by the way, our finalists for the scientific research category is the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, Elohiyo Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology, and University of the Philippines, Diliman. Okay, so 5 minutes presentation will start now.
Ladies and gentlemen, a good day. I am Princess Santos representing Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. It is my honor to present to you our research, Catalytic Hydrogenation of Xylose-Derived Furfural from Gossypium hulls and zeamyce cobs for the production of Tetrahydrofuran. The presentation outline will be as follows. Cottonseed hull and corn cob are generated byproduct during cottonseed oil extraction and harvesting of corn respectively. Cottonseed hull comprises 32% of the cottonseed, which contains 38.3% xylose, while corn cob comprises 22% of the corn with 31.1% xylose. These xylose-containing biomass can be used to produce value-added products such as tetrahydrofuran. The xylose is acquired through acid hydrolysis of the biomass, then converted into furfural via dehydration. Furfural then undergoes catalytic hydrogenation, which is the heart of the process. It is a chemical reaction between molecular hydrogen and xylose-derived furan under the presence of a metal catalyst, resulting into a saturated alkane called tetrahydrofuran or THF. The product is a clear, colorless, volatile, and water-miscible cyclic ether that has low viscosity at standard temperature. Its application includes solvents for resins like nylon and PVC, precursor to the manufacturing of spandex and polyurethane, and as a reaction medium in Grignard processes in pharmaceutical industry. Although these biomass may serve as feedstock for animals, their toxicity limits their use in animal feed. Thus, these are left as waste. Cottonseed contains gossipol concentrations from 0.02 to 6.64%, while storing of corn cobs produces aflatoxin up to 12.3%. Rather ending up as waste, these are used to produce THF. Our objective is to produce tetrahydrofuran at optimum parameters that will conform to the following standard and existing properties. Cottonseed hull and corn cob will provide the agricultural industry a growth and potential market for corn and cotton production while providing an alternative raw material for tetrahydrofuran production. Our process is divided into three parts: the pre-treatment and xylose production, furfural production, then the tetrahydrofuran production. Cottonseed hulls are gathered from Batac, Ilocos Norte through the Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority, while corn cobs are gathered from San Fabian, Pangasinan. Prior to experimentation, the raw materials were tested for its carbohydrate content to quantify the xylose. Results from the Department of Agriculture shows that cottonseed hulls and corn cob contains 31.7% and 14.6% carbohydrates, respectively. Cottonseed hulls and corn cobs were dried using the CE-130 bowl dryer, then size reduced using an osterizer. The ground cottonseed hulls and corn cobs were subjected to acid hydrolysis using 4% sulfuric acid at 100 degrees Celsius for 60 minutes. The hydrolysate is then filtered, separating the xylose solution from the cake. The xylose solution is dehydrated at 100 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes, converting the xylose into furfural. To extract the furfural from the furfural solution, liquid-liquid extraction is done using toluene as a solvent. It resulted into two liquid layers, the excess acid solution and the furfural toluene solution. Pure furfural is recovered via distillation, with toluene as the distillate and furfural as the bottom's product. This furfural was simultaneously processed via decarbonylation and catalytic hydrogenation, converting it into furan and tetrahydrofuran. Copper is used as a catalyst, and the hydrogen gas used is experimentally produced by reacting sodium hydroxide pellets, water, and aluminum foil. THF was produced at 130 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes and recovered through condensation. Optimum time and temperature for decarbonylation and catalytic hydrogenation was determined using design expert software with response surface using central composite as the design. The temperature was varied from 110 to 150 degrees Celsius, while time was varied from 10 to 50 minutes. With purity as the output response, all 11 trials were subjected to UVV spectroscopy. Produced THF absorbance is measured at 212 nanometers wavelength, with purity ranging from 74.98% to 94.91%. With the highest purity, Trial 10 was selected as the best trial. Using FTIR testing, the peak value at 1099.47 per centimeters attributed to the COC stretching bond and the presence of an ether bond. Also, the density and viscosity of the produced THF are 0.89 gram per cubic centimeters and 0.005 centipore respectively. In conclusion, THF can be produced via catalytic hydrogenation of xylose-derived furfural from gossypium hulls and ZMAs cobs using the following optimum parameters, which conformed with the properties of the standard and commercially available. To improve and develop the tetrahydrofuran, the researchers recommend the following. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope everyone is safe and well. Ladies
you very
and
much.
gentlemen,
Thank you very much, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. We can now proceed with our question and answer. May we request our panel of evaluators, if you have questions, please raise your hand and please limit your questions. Okay, so let's start the question and answer. May we request PLM to open their camera. Okay, so let's start the question and answer from the panel of evaluators.
Hello, good morning. May I start the first question then?
Good morning, Dr. Amelia Marquez. Okay, let's start.
Yes. I was listening to your presentation, although this has something to do with really chemical, okay, application of your product. Then I heard that you did consider only 11 trials. Am I right to say that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What is significant of, why is it you did these 11 trials only? What is the significance? Why is it you did not consider more trials? Why did you stop to 11 trials?
Ma'am, at the trial for the heart of the process, we used design expert software to limit the values from 150 degrees Celsius temperature up to 110 degrees Celsius and 10 minutes to 30 minutes 10 minutes to 60 minutes time. And the design software itself generates different combination from those two parameters, and it resulted to only 11 trials, and we use those 11 trials to plot the possible outcome of the purity of the product. Thus, only 11 trials were based from the design software, the design expert software, and that's the basis for it.
Okay, so the software you use is limited to 11 trials.
Yes,
If only you were given the chance to use another software, it would have been better result. Is that your position?
mm, we don't know other possible software that can be used, but if other software can be used, possibly that it will generate other more trials, but the results can still be the same because design expert software has accurate measurement based on the data presented on its trial basis.
Okay, thank you. So thank you so much for answering that because I listened attentively to your 11 trials. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Promise.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Marquez. May we ask the other evaluators? We still have 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
I have a question. Hi, Jonathan Ko here.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Thank you.
We can proceed.
I have two questions regarding social impact and relevance and contribution to the advancement of science and technology. My first question is, how big of a problem is this? Meaning yung corn, yung source material ninyo. Kasi if I understand correctly, this is a waste product of one industry that you are transforming to an input of another industry. And my second question is, how have you, what is the as far as the technology to do what you did, is this something that is very new to the industry, or is this something that you replicated from a process that you found being implemented somewhere else? Thank you.
Sir, our study has several contributions beyond academic research. As previously mentioned, cottonseed hulls and corn cobs are byproducts that can be recovered and utilized as valuable resource materials. The usage of these waste in tetrahydrofuran production would bring about an alternative for their sustainable reuse and possibly divert a large amount of these waste materials from landfills and incinerators. This means less environmental impact and less energy and resources used. Thus, it promotes an effort for a more sustainable society.
Good morning, sir. To answer your second question, tetrahydrofuran is currently can be obtained via dehydration of 1,4-butanediol using acetylene and formaldehyde as the raw materials. THF production from furfural has attracted interest by the researchers since it takes advantage of a renewable raw material. So we opted to use cottonseed hulls and corn cobs as the raw materials for the production of tetrahydrofuran.
Is cottonseed something that is available locally?
Yes, sir. It is widely abundant and available in our country. As a matter of fact, according to Philippine Fiber Industry Development Administration, the country quadrupled its cotton production with 74,757 kilogram of cotton in 2018. In terms of sources, cotton is concentrated in areas of Ilocos region.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amelia Marquez and Mr. Jonathan Ko for that question and answer. We would like also to thank Pamantasan Lungsod ng Maynila. Okay, so we can now proceed with our second presenter. Our second presenter will be the Elohiyo Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology with their research entitled Brainwave Controlled Smart Room Using Artificial Neural Network, with the proponents Samuel Manzanero, Jefferson Magdaraog, Angel Gale Huico, Jessa Olor, Salve Julia Romano, Marimel Labro, Roel Condes, and their advisor, Engineer Sid Matthew Adolfo. May we request the Iris to share their screen now for the presentation, and we'll be giving you 5 minutes to present. So while still waiting, we would like to thank the organizers of this annual research award. And we would like also to thank our university president, Dr. Manuel M. Mui. Without him, this annual research award will not be possible.
Excuse me, sir. Host disabled participant screen share.
Okay, okay, this is noted. We will request for allowing you to share this. We would
Thank
like to
you.
request the technical team to disable or enable the share screen. Okay, Iris, you may try to share the screen.
Bakit ito siya natin?
Okay, so I think Iris is already ready to present their research. So you're only given 5 minutes to present, and your time starts now.
Pleasant morning to each and every one of us. I am Marimeles Labro from Iris, Manila, presenting a research entitled Brainwave Controlled Smart Room Using Artificial Neural Network. This research is conducted to offer more convenience to humans simultaneous to coping up with the Industry 4.0, which aims at creating the so-called smart industry. The study will only utilize thoughts on controlling devices in the smart room, such as cameras, that can be installed in houses or rooms mainly for security purposes, and car miniature that will be applied on wheelchair so that its user will not need human assistance anymore. Abstract. Through electroencephalogram, EEG, which evaluate the electrical activity of the brain based on brain-computer interface, BCI, which provides a communication path between the human brain and the computer system, instead of giving commands using remote technology and other coexisting controllers. This study will only utilize thoughts on controlling the smart room. Significance of the study: to provide human convenience, especially for physical constrained individuals, and to allow supervision from the other room to anyone who needs to be attended, that is in the other room, like babies or sick individuals, etc. Also to give assistance and more prominent independence to individuals with limb weaknesses. The researcher uses Python language to create our graphic user interface, or GUI, design wherein you can find the three major processes of overall systems: the CSV data, the train, and the test. CSV data, or comma separated value of data, are the electrical activities being gathered to the user's brain. It is the basis of splitting of data into 80% and 20% samples. The 80% samples lie on the train set, wherein the artificial neural network has to be used in learning process, and the construction of trained data has to identify the rate of accuracy. On the other hand, the 20% samples lie on the test set, that split into two sets of variables that lead the system in the testing process and the accuracy process. Actual picture of the research. On this slide is our final output from left to right, the brain sensing headband that provides the real-time feedback on your brain and body movements, the two cameras installed on the monitor that displays the graphic user interface, or GUI, and the car miniature, the train set video. Sir Egay is wearing our sensing headband to collect the data and gather data from his brain, and it will be used to train and test method of our research. Again, this is a mind controlling system of installed camera in smart room by using ANN or artificial neural network. And how it works. Firstly, collecting data by wearing the sensing headband on the head of the user. Secondly, we use the gathered data to train method to get the accuracy wherein we assign the value of 0 and 1 with corresponding gestures. Think 1 while blinking your eyes continuously to turn on the camera 2, think 0 while tapping index finger to turn on the camera 1. Thirdly, the gathered data is being tested in the test method. The data of user is successfully saved as CSV file. Note, if there's a new user, we'll repeat the 3 steps. Then if the same user will proceed in the test method only because our system had his data. The test video.
Last 1 minute for the presenters.
As you can see, our project is being used by Sir Egay to test that our project is working according to his physical condition and to prove that one of our advantages is our project is to give assistance to person with disability by controlling the camera and toy car without physical contact is being considered. On this video, as you can see, it is a car miniature which is for future development. Further study is needed for this control successfully. We conclude that the brainwave controlled smart room using artificial neural network is the system was able to successfully monitor and correct the parameters of artificial neural network by getting the required accuracy. Lastly, the high and low rate of accuracy signified that the gathered data are compatible to the test data and the classification will work thoroughly if and only if the desired rate of accuracy of our system of the research has been reached. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Elohiyo among Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology. Let's now proceed with the question and answer. Evaluators.
I have a question. This
Okay.
sort of human-machine interface has been around for a while. What makes this particular research that you did relevant given such an environment?
Again, sir, sorry.
So, yung interface ng machine and humans using brainwaves is not new anymore. So I would just like to find out what makes your particular project different from what is already existing in the scientific community and in fact in the commercial space as well.
Bali po dun sa yung pong bago sa amin is yung pong ano namin yung sensing headband is ginagamit po talaga siya for meditation, then ginagamit din po siya ng mga bata. Ginagamit po siya ng mga bata para po malaman ng teacher kung yung bata is kaya niya po mag-aral. Then pag hindi na po niya kaya, yung bata po papatigilin niya po yung bata, paparelaxin niyo po siya. Then po yung sa program po namin, yung ang dinagdag po namin doon is yung artificial neural network na pag nag-think ka po ng 1 and 0, masasabi po niya na yung pong command na inilagay namin doon sa on and off na camera or yung atras abante ng miniature car is ma-identify niya po niya yung inisip mo kung 1 or 0 or atras abante po.
Just to be clear, that is what is novel or new about your particular research?
Yes, sir. That's new, sir.
Hello, pwede ba akong sumali?
Yes, ma'am.
Sige.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning po.
Yes, I was listening. Maganda yung tinanong ni Sir. I just want to add, I'm just curious because there is already existing the same product in the market in the what it is commercially speaking. Ang sabi nyo, meron kayong dinagdag sa project nyo. Ibig sabihin, yung dinagdag nyo, hindi nakikita sa existing. Tama ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Sa tingin nyo ba, yung dinagdag nyo ay talagang makakabuti sa existing o it is only perhaps may masabi lang na nadagdag pero ang totoo, hindi siya talaga magamitin na hindi nakita ng ibang gumawa ng product na yan na kayo ay nakita nyo. How
Yes, ma'am.
significant your added feature, di ba? Nag-add kayo ng feature sa product nyo. How significant? Talaga bang makakaganda yan? Makakatulong na hindi nakita nung dati na gumawa? O nakadagdag lang? Parang nakadagdag lang, hindi naman talaga nakabuti. May I hear from you then?
Thank you, ma'am. Yung sa kinabaguhan po ng sa amin, mas mataas po yung accuracy na hindi magkamali. Yun po yung pinaka-main significance. Lalo na po sa mga disabled person, mas mabilis po yung command ng device pag nag-isip lang po siya. Yung previous study po kasi, nabibigay lang po siya, parang minimeditate lang po yung brain, yung relaxation. Yung sa amin po, yung sa accuracy mismo po, mas mataas po yung accuracy na hindi magkamali at mas mabilis po siya.
Okay. If we talk of accuracy, then I accepting. Maganda ng improvement kung accuracy pinag-uusapan. So thank you so much for
Thank
your
you, ma'am.
answer to my question. Thank you.
Ano po, ma'am?
Sir John?
Okay, yes po. Yes, Dr. Pilar.
Tanong ko lang doon sa ating taga-Iris. No? You did an assessment. You did an assessment of the functionality, reliability, usability. Could you describe the method you use in doing the assessment? You have respondents, students, professors, and practitioners. Would you like to expound on the methodology you used to come up with? I saw the data may excellent and very good. So would you like to explain the methodology used to assess the technology?
Any response from Iris? Any response from our presenters?
Hello po. Bali po, nag-conduct po kami ng study po. Yung pong nagkaroon po kami ng patate. Then doon po, yung pong mga teachers, mga professor, and students po, nag-test po sila doon. Then ang nakita po namin is kung gaano po yung pag-iisip nyo, yung pag-iisip po is parang yung focus po, mas nakukuha po yung mas accurate po yung nabibigay niyang command, yung control po. Then yung sa iba naman po, yung hindi sila focus, na distract po sila. Kahit po mataas yung accuracy na nakukuha nung program is nagkakamali po, gawa po nung mga distraction na tapos hindi po sila focus.
So meaning they actually tested the prototype by wearing it, then you gather the data.
Yes, sir.
Ano yung total population na nagamit natin for the assessment? So you have students, professors, and practitioners. Would you like to give the breakdown of the population?
30 students, sir, and 30 professor and professionals in engineers, and 40 is practitioners po. Based on our survey po.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amelia Marquez, Mr. Jonathan Co, and Dr. Pilar for the question and answer portion of our second presenter. Now let's proceed with our third presenter. By the way, I would like to thank Elohiyo Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology for that research presentation. Now let's proceed with our third presenter from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, microwave-assisted synthesis of waste-derived copper terephthalate metal organic framework for the reduction of methyl orange in wastewater, with the proponents Christian Jared Balayan, Danica Cristel Endaya, and Maria Andrea Lisa Umali, with their advisor, Engineer John Andrew Kane Hoveliana. We request from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, for their presentation, and their timer starts now.
Good morning, esteemed guests and fellow researchers. I am Jared Balayan.
And I am Andrea O'Malley.
And together with Danica and Daya, we are here to present our research study entitled Microwave-Assisted Synthesis of Waste-Derived Copper Terephthalate Metal Organic Framework for the Reduction of Methyl Orange in Wastewater. We first introduced the real-world problems to be tackled by our study. The continuous advancement of societies across the globe has resulted in a manufacturing shift toward automated systems and integration of physical and cyberspace. This brings forth problems on depletion of resources and unsustainable consumption, which result in the rapid disposal of everyday items. Large industries like the textile industry not only produce solid waste, but also largely contribute to water pollution due to the involvement of harmful dye chemicals. The most common type are azo dyes, such as methyl orange, whose molecules persist in the environment due to its inert nature towards agents of degradation.
This brings us to the concept of metal organic frameworks, or MOFs, an emerging class of hybrid materials. These are composed of metal ions coordinated to organic linkers, which form multidimensional frameworks. MOFs have diverse and highly versatile properties, making them advantageous over conventional porous materials for catalytic applications. MOF synthesis may be done via a microwave-assisted method involving the direct interaction of radiation with the reactants. This offers a cheaper and energy-efficient heating method and provides advantages over other conventional methods. The MOF in focus for the study is copper terephthalate, or CuBDC MOF. The carboxylate linker, terephthalic acid, contributes to MOF nanoporosity and stability. The copper ions, on the other hand, contribute to its Lewis acidity, further enhancing its catalytic properties. With the concept of MOFs in focus, the aims of our research study are the following. We aim to produce copper sulfate crystals from scrap electric wires and extract terephthalic acid from PET textile. We also aim to synthesize an MOF using a domestic microwave oven and test the effectiveness of the compound as catalyst for methyl orange reduction.
We have aligned the purpose of this research towards key statistics and figures on the problems our country is facing today. According to the EMB in 2018, we are projected to generate 18 million metric tons of solid wastes by 2020, with almost 2,000 kilotons of waste electronics and almost 300 kilotons of waste textiles by the same year. The first indication of contamination is color. Shown here is Marilao River, currently one of the top 10 most polluted rivers in the world from wastes coming from the nearby textile factories and municipal waste storages.
In line with these driving factors, we conducted our study based on modified methodologies from related publications. The organic precursor TPA was produced from polyester textile. PET was depolymerized by sulfuric acid, then further purified with activated carbon. Solid TPA was obtained through recrystallization and verified through FTIR spectroscopy. The metal precursor copper sulfate was synthesized from wires through leaching with sulfuric acid and hydrogen peroxide. The leached solution was recrystallized and verified through XRD analysis. The MOF was produced by dissolving the precursors in dimethylformamide solvent and subsequently heating the reaction mixture in a microwave oven. The solid products obtained were then verified through characterization tests. In determining the catalytic activity of the produced MOF, the reaction of methyl orange in water with sodium borohydride was investigated. The absorbance of the reduction reaction with and without the MOF was monitored using a VIS NIR spectrophotometer. Shown on the screen is a side-by-side of a 5-minute time-lapse of methyl orange reduction. On the left is the reaction without the produced materials, while on the right is the reaction with the produced MOF. We now proceed to the presentation and discussion of results.
From the FTIR spectrum of the extracted TPA, the observed peaks correspond with the functional groups present in the compound. This obtained spectrum is consistent with literature values, confirming successful synthesis of the terephthalic acid. Here's the XRD pattern of extracted copper sulfate from wires. Characteristic peaks of our precursors are comparable to literature values up to the 40-degree mark. Intensity variations from literature values suggest difference in extents of crystallinity at certain lattice planes. Other peaks may be attributed to possible phase impurities due to lack of purification step. Based on these, copper-2 sulfate was successfully produced. Shown on the left is the XRD pattern of the synthesized material, while on the right is the pattern of the copper terephthalate MOF from previously published literature. Upon analysis, characteristic peaks of the MOF deviate from literature values by about 2 degrees, while additional peaks were also observed. These suggest that the results are comparable with the standard copper terephthalate MOF, but presence of other compounds are also highly likely. Suspected impurities such as copper sulfide may have come from the precursor and side reactions. This NR spectra of the uncatalyzed and catalyzed methyl orange reactions were each recorded at 30-second intervals for 15 minutes. It can be seen that there is little change in the absorbance of methyl orange in the uncatalyzed reaction, suggesting slow reaction progression. The spectra of the catalyzed reaction, however, shows the rapid change in absorbance with respect to time. From comparison, produced material effectively catalyzed the reduction of methyl orange, despite potential presence of impurities.
We now proceed to the conclusion of our study. Based on the presented results, it can be concluded that the precursors were successfully extracted from waste materials. CuBDC MOF was successfully produced via microwave-assisted synthesis. The results of the study confirm its effectivity as a catalyst for the reduction of methyl orange in water even without further purification steps. This strengthens its potential as a green alternative for conventional catalysts. For future studies, it is recommended to conduct additional purification and characterization steps to further enhance and confirm MOF effectivity. An in-depth study of MOF recyclability as catalysts may also be conducted. Finally, other potential applications of CuBDC MOF may be explored and studied.
We would like to acknowledge the following institutions for their aid in our study. Thank you very much and have a good day.
So let's now proceed with the question and answer portion.
Yeah, can I ask?
Yes, Director Patalinghug.
Yeah, okay. While there are already studies on recovering copper from copper wires, terephthalic acid from polyester textile scraps and metal organic frameworks, MOF are still relatively new or emerging technology. Who are the intended beneficiaries? Can this product be mass produced? And how cost effective is it compared to commercial methods? Thank you.
Good morning, sir. So for the society benefits to society, this can be targeted to the textile industry and the electronics industry, since they can use this they can collaborate in order to use this for in-house wastewater treatment, since this can also help them to reduce costs for meeting environmental standards due to the production of pollutants in their processes. For the use of copper wires and PET textile for the metal organic framework, this is different from other MOFs, since we are focusing on treating waste.
And the last question, kung cost effective, how is it compared to other commercial methods?
Yes, sir. So since we are using waste materials, we are also reducing costs for the use of synthetic products, as well as the use of microwave synthesis is also a cost efficient and energy efficient method due to the high heating rate of the microwave.
Do you have computations na?
Sir, for computations,
Sa cost effectiveness niya.
Sir, for now, it is not included in the scope of our study for the commercialization of this product.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Director Patalinhog. May we ask the other evaluators also? Any other question from the uh, other panel to our other evaluators?
Hello, good morning. May I butt in?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I was listening. Are you telling us that your study is significant only to the textile industry and those who are engaged with electronics? Am I right to say that in my understanding? Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
So, our product is not only beneficial to the textile industry and electronics industry, since this can also be used for other industries that produce the targeted wastewater pollutant, which is the methyl orange. So this can also be used in this can also be applied in efforts in order to produce cleaner water in coastal areas, in coastal waters. So for the textile and electronic industry, it is more on the collaboration of efforts in order to lead to these results.
If I may ask, the present electronics and textile industries are not really adapting the same now. With the help of your research, you think how many percent will be the improvement if we're going to recommend this to these industries as far as wastewater is concerned? If you recommend this, how many percent you think so will be your target in improving their waste water? That's the big problem in any industry. So did you consider that thing in your study?
We have not been able to compute in percentages. However, we expect that our study will be able to help the efforts of these industries in order to improve their in-house wastewater treatments, which they are required to do in order to meet the environmental standards.
Okay, so somehow it will help the environmental setting of their projects, of their industry, right?
Yes.
So looking forward that this will be of great help to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hello.
Related to the technical viability and the social impact. In the in commercial terms, in dye houses, in textile factories, how do you see this being implemented? What I mean to ask is, does the company need to invest in a separate tank to isolate the methyl orange, or it can be in just their general sewage treatment facility, which, yes, you are correct, they are required by law to have yung wastewater treatment facility?
So, sir, for our study, this is more on a preliminary study, and we are currently focusing on the general setting for now. So, as for commercialization, this would be recommended for further studies in order to um, to further look into uh, the production of large scale of the MOFs.
Sorry, perhaps I wasn't clear. For example, when you're doing textile dyeing, you put it in vats, and then when you're done with a particular vat, assuming there's a reason for you to discharge the wastewater, right? Then you have to treat it. Do you have any information regarding does it need to be treated in a separate tank? Meaning, if, for example, I mix it with a red dye or a blue dye or a gray dye, does that affect the efficacy of your treatment methodology? Have you done any research on this?
Sir, for now, our scope of the study does not include this yet. However, if in case we are to target large scale production, we may contact factories for possible pilot scale applications, which will require further research into the effectiveness of this with the other types of dyes.
Excuse me. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. So actual application of your research in wastewater.
Yes.
You were
sorry.
saying this just initial.
Sorry, ma'am. What is the question?
So there was no actual application of your research study in the wastewater. You haven't tried it, even in small amount, or maybe in the actual waste water.
So for our study, we focused on simulated wastewater, which only included methyl orange for now.
Actually, because that's part of your title, I was expecting you're doing it in the actual research, as part of the actual research, because it's in the title. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Question.
Okay, Dr. Villar.
Yeah, were there visits conducted by the team, especially the potential users, the textile manufacturing companies, as part of the study? Were there visits conducted? And also to determine or assess the current practices ng ating existing industries.
Sir, for now, there have been no visits yet. So our study focuses more on the proof of concept for now. And for further studies, this will be included in the plans.
Actually, sir, if I may add, we have contacted the industry. However, we haven't gone feet on floor with the factories itself because of the lockdowns recently. Though there were surveys and contacts with companies. So for the question earlier, we did conduct it, but on a controlled setting for metal orange on water. Thank you.
Would you say your technology is feasible?
Yes, sir. With the presentation we showed, the time lapse, it's our produced hybrid material was able to successfully catalyze the reduction of metal orange in a controlled setting, metal orange in water. Therefore, it's a feasible waste materials treating based products. For upscaling, we have this is preliminary in the pilot study, but as we said in our recommendations, if further studies can be looked into for upscaling of this production of this hybrid material.
Additional question, please.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier, no, part of your introduction, yung Marilao River. In a standing container of wastewater, the MOF may be effective. But what about the flowing body of wastewater?
Hello, sir. So for this, in the case that we apply this to the industrial settings, we plan on creating adsorption bed setups and to use it as immobilized MOFs, which will be used in in-house wastewater treatment, such as those utilized in different industries.
So hindi to applicable sa sa umaagos na ilog katulad ng minention nyo na Marilao River.
Hello. It's applicable, sir, but since we're controlling this, we can't just drop the MOF, fix it, and flowing river. We would have to put it in specific placements. As we said, it's in an absorber bed. So probably the most optimal placement that we can put this in is at the effluent mouth, so that effluent flowing into the flowing water systems won't be contaminated with the metal orange.
Thank you.
May question, pahabol ulit ako. Pahabol ako.
Okay, sir.
Pahabol ako.
Sige po, sir.
Yeah, you're using waste material. What do you think will be effect in the environment?
Sorry, sir, can you repeat the question again?
Related sa Sir John?
Okay, sir. Or the last
Related
question.
sa tanong ni Engineer Tanasas, meron ba siyang toxic na byproduct yung inyong process?
Sir, so as of now, we are expecting impurities such as copper sulfate and possibly sulfide products. However, the scope of our study does not include further purification steps yet, which may be applied in order to improve the effectiveness of this MOF and also to reduce the possible byproducts that would add to the pollutants.
Okay.
So the adsorbed products would be the waste na po. And yung solid oxides that my groupmate mentioned, hindi na mentioned, it's an inert, it's gonna be an inert chemical and it won't reach the environment.
Okay. Thank you very much to our panel of evaluators. I believe that you have a lot of questions for this research, but we only have limited time for it. So thank you very much, University of the Philippines, Diliman. So we can now proceed with our next category, the innovation research category. So we have 3 finalists for the innovation research category. So our criteria for judging for this category: technical viability still 30%, social impact and relevance 30%, execution and design of packaging 10%, and commercial viability 30%, with a total of 100%. Okay, so let's now proceed with our first presenter from the Lyceum of the Philippines University. Development of water evaporation suppressant for reservoir utilizing fern as an antimicrobial agent. But due to unforeseen circumstances, LPU Cavite didn't make it and decided to not present on the final round. since their research undergone the initial evaluation, they are still considered as part of the finalists. So we can proceed now with our second presenter. Our second presenter is from the De La Salle University, Manila, with a research entitled Remote Controlled Surface Vehicle for Algae Harvesting with DSP Assisted Navigation, with the proponents Aaron Clyde Dublin, Nathaniel De La Cruz, Maxine Louis Genches, Johannes Christian Jeronimo, with their advisor, Dr. Edwin Sibinco and Engineer Jose Martin Maningo. So to start their presentation, so you're given only 5 minutes to present. And the timer starts now. Okay. So thank you, De La Salle University, Manila. Let's now proceed with the question and answer. Anyone from the evaluators?
Pwede nang mag-umpisa na ako?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, good morning, DLSU.
Hello po, good
I
morning.
was watching your video presentation and I saw you did 5 runs in collecting the algae. Hello?
Yes po.
Yes po.
So 5 runs, good for 5 minutes. Am I right?
Yes po.
Now, why do you need to do these 5 runs? Why is it you can harvest for say 2 runs only, 3 runs? Why like that in your project? Do we need to do this really in your project? We have to do these 5 runs before we can harvest this algae?
No, actually, ma'am, because the actual length of the harvester compared to the actual length of the pond, it needs around 5 parallel runs for each kind of row to harvest all of the algae in the pond, given that it is 15 feet by 25 feet.
I will give you a case. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Use your device, and our objective is to harvest that algae in that particular area. Okay, in that particular area only. So we're going to utilize your device.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we do it in 1 run only for that particular area?
Yes po, ma'am, because yung system po namin, they're capable of 2 modes of operation. Yung first mode of operation is our remote controlled navigation. And we also implemented autonomous navigation where lalagay lang po kami ng waypoints sa system namin, and using the GPI integrated sa harvester po namin, it can automatically navigate through sa waypoints para po pwede po ma-succeed yung harvesting within 1 run only or in any gusto pong new run.
Also, ma'am, in addition, when the harvester passes through 1 point, all of the algae that is on front of the harvester will be automatically collected already. So it is possible that we are capable of running the harvesting for only 1 run.
Okay. Curious lang ako. Halimbawa, merong alien, merong ibang nagpa-float doon. Hindi natin sinasadya. Anong mangyayari pag dumaan ang device niyo doon?
Ma'am, on our research, it is not specifically stated, but with the help of this detection system, in the future we can add the feature of avoiding this kind of obstacles, and also in our controlled environment, especially on lab algae ponds, usually there are no foreign debris or objects that is found in the floating in the pond, because lab algae itself is very sensitive. A little agitation from any foreign debris will cause it to go down the pond, and it will not be possible for harvesting already. So with our harvester, it is technically sufficient for that application. But in the future, if we may add the obstacle avoidance, it can be introduced as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
Question.
Okay po.
Yeah, I have 20 questions here. How much do you think will the machine cost?
Based on our development of this machine, our total development costs around 30,000. But we chose the best components for it. So if you know, in the possible market, with the example mass production, we can lower the cost, and we could also outsource equipments that are on the same on the same par or subpar with our components that we have chosen for this harvester. So
I just hope, I just hope that you will consider the paying capacity or the buying capacity of the fisher folks. And then my second question is, can the camera detect other species of algae, or is it just visualization?
For now, we focus on the type of lablab algae, but with the possible training of different kinds of algae, it is possible in the future that the type of algae can be also detected.
Okay, last na lang. Can the operation of the machine be more sustainable if it is modular or transportable for rental by fish pond owners for harvest of the algae in the pond prepared for the seeding of fingerlings?
Yes, our design actually is modular. Each of the component can be removed and be transported as we have on our research. We usually transport it going to the fish pond located in Bulacan.
Meron ako. Meron ako.
And these modular components can be also replaced if necessary.
Okay. Just try to consider the cost of 30,000 na wala makakabiling mahihirap na mangingisda dyan or pond owner.
To clarify that, sir, the 30,000 amount is the maximum because we have chosen the best components for it. So if we need to specify for the fisher folks, we can minimize the cost. And in our research, our one of our main priority is the feeds corporation that incorporates it manufactures fish feeds. So in the future, if we may be able to scale this up, we could provide this to fisher folks as
well. Okay, maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat din.
Thank you very much. Yes, Dr. Pilar.
Yeah, you mentioned about yung problem about yung sa waypoint. Did you address the issue? Because nadadala siya ng current, di ba? Did you address the issue na may counter, you have something that will counter the current so that straight to the point yung ating trouble of the equipment?
Based on our observations, we can fix it by using bigger motors, and especially to calibrate the navigation. Also, with the current, one limitation of our study is that because, as we said earlier, the lablab algae is very sensitive. So on days with high currents, lablab algae will disintegrate and it will not be visible already, or it cannot be harvested already. So the operating conditions of our harvester consider it that the currents are ideal for the operation of the said harvester. Thank you.
I observe nga very controlled yung very controlled yung environment nyo using a 15 by 25 na pond.
Yes, bro.
So very controlled yung so the result will be dun sa ganung environment. How about yung sa actual nga na may you will be experiencing yung wind, may current ka pa to be considered. So yung sinasabi kong counter, I just imagine yung mangingisda, di ba? Sasaguan sila sa kabilang side, no? Kung may gusto silang gawin to address yung concern nila, then lilipat sila sa kabilang side, sasaguan sa kabilang side. That's what I want to yung makita in both sides, kasi you have the motor that push the equipment niya, no? And that navigates the equipment. But you can actually parang nasa isip ko, you can incorporate on both sides. Parang
Yes.
sort of corrector para direct to the point yung issue on the waypoint ma-address ninyo, no?
Yes, sir. To add on our answer, in our recommendation, we recommended that we will try to fabricate or try then a new system, a new design of the boat which incorporates two motors, left and right, so it will not so it will have better maneuverability, and also it could also power more and perhaps provide better payload capacity.
Hello, sir. One last question.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes, pa.
Okay. Anyway, I just want to emphasize that your research is really in that final phase. Am I right? It's not complete yet.
Our research is actually it's done already. So
You mean to say that is your final prototype, or is it, or as recommended by Dr. Danny Pilar, you need more modifications? I think you need more study on the design and the aerodynamics of that technology. Maybe you have software now to simulate movements of your system, so to improve more its components. So I think maybe that is not the final prototype.
Actually, our prototype is actually somewhat the technology demonstrator of this kind of prototype, and we are already in works of creating a better prototype, actually with the help of
Sir, is this a funded research project, or is it your own funding you use?
Hello. There are other research works conducted simultaneously with our project because it is part of a bigger project about algae.
Okay.
It is partially funded with the help of our institution and also the Department of Science and Technologies.
All right. Okay.
Hello. Pwede pa ba?
Yes, ma'am. Last question pa.
I think there's a need really to redesign because right now, hindi siya specific for lab algae. Maybe the researcher would like to see the experience of MIRDC. Many years ago, they developed a harvester for water hyacinth. So maybe you can check on them, how they did it, and you learn also from them. Maganda naman yung concept nyo, but try to see that particular project of the UST. For now, I don't think the design is really applicable for the algae. Kasi it's not so specific. Baka pag ginamit ninyo yan, even the trash can be harvested. That's how I look at the design. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much to our panel of evaluators. And also, we would like to thank De La Salle University, Manila. Okay, so let's now proceed with our third presenter. Our third presenter is from the Technological Institute of the Philippines, Quezon City, with the title Aircraft Gate Allocation Optimization at Manila Airport Terminals through Analytical Hierarchy Process and Predictive Analysis, with the proponents Brian Caventa, Jared Hans Claronino, Princess Riza Cornejo, Ho J. Kim, and Jackster Lamadrid, with their advisor, Engineer Yoshiki Kurata. So maybe as a TIV. Okay, so we can now proceed with the presentation. And the timer starts now.
Good day. We are TAP's finalists for the innovation category. Together with me are my co-engineer teammates and advisor presenting aircraft gate allocation optimization at Manila Airport terminals through predictive analytics and analytical hierarchy process. Fasten your seatbelts because we're about to start. The existence of a usual problem is associated with the delays that customers experience while they are waiting for their next flight, and it can happen at any airport. Aircraft gate allocation is a problem that has existed for over 40 years now, according to studies done by Gallinger and Stewart. It is such an intricate and complex problem that it's very difficult to find a single perfect solution. Thus, the study was focused on Manila International Airport, or the crown jewel airport of the Philippines, but sadly, voted numerous times as the worst airport in the world. And according to ABS-CBN News, even as recently as 2013, with things such as long and numerous queues being cited as reasons why, further reinforcing the congestion problem at the airport is a must. The necessary data was gathered from Terminals 1, 2, and 3 regarding arrival of aircrafts of different types, capacity of said aircrafts, and their sizes. The following here are the footages of the Pro Model simulations done for the three terminals, showing the final results of the arrivals and departures of flights, now with the optimized aircraft gate allocation, considering the aircraft's wingspan, length, capacity, and arrival time. Now, the resulting study will help airports take advantage of the mathematical model used in the study where aircraft gate allocation is an existing problem, allowing passengers to embark and disembark from aircrafts with less waiting time, resulting in more profit for airlines and airports alike, considering the potential increase in efficiency. Now, through the use of analytical hierarchy process, it was seen that the certain gates in three terminals were being overused, while other gates were not being used at all, resulting in delays. Now, using multiple regression to analyze the data, as well as through the usage of predictive analytics, the study provides an optimized system to remedy the aircraft gate allocation problem. Now, here are the graphical representations of how much time is used per gate in the three terminals at NAIA. As it can be seen, all three certain gates are used much more than the others, and some not being used at all, which makes room for more congestion and flight delays. From running the data through multiple regressions in Minitab, it can be found that the phi value of 0.007 is less than 0.05. And therefore, yes, there is a significant correlation between the factors seen here that can cause delay in the airport. The delays here show the Minitab results after performing multiple regression on the factors that affect waiting time of aircrafts at the gates, causing delays and problems. Now, here are the graphical representations of the proposed time usage for the three terminals at Manila International Airport, where it can be seen that all gates are utilized to a reasonable degree so as to avoid congestion. From the results that can be seen earlier, a 3D graph to summarize the final conclusion can be seen here, wherein a comparison is made between the current passenger count at NAIA with the potential passenger count that can be reached with the proposed solution to the aircraft gate allocation, and it is much significantly higher. With that, analytical hierarchy process is a powerful yet simple method for optimizing aircraft gate allocation, and predictive analytics is perfect to identify the likelihood of future outcomes. Using our innovative solution will really increase the passenger count from 68,160,361 to 93,685,123 people by the year 2025, which results in a great difference of 27.25%. Thus, the recommendation is to implement our mathematical model at airports where aircraft gate allocation is a problem, so as to potentially increase the passenger count by 27.25% with a boosted efficiency. It will really promote more active travelers and benefit the airports by providing more revenue in the country by increasing its tourism values. That concludes TIP's final entry for the innovation category. Aircraft gate allocation optimization at Manila International Airport terminals through analytical hierarchy process and predictive analytics. Thank you for flying with us.
Question.
Okay, let's proceed now with the question and answer.
Question.
Question.
Narinig ako?
Question.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Engineer Nathan.
My question is, why you did not include Terminal 4? Yung Terminal 4, bakit hindi mo sinabi? Tama naman siya dun sa area.
Sir, medyo mahina yung ano.
Yung Terminal 4, bakit hindi mo na sinama?
Okay, so I've heard you correctly. Why did we not include Terminal 4? Is that correct?
Yeah.
The reason why we did not include Terminal 4 is that Terminal 4 only focuses on international flights.
No, Terminal 4 is
Domestic.
flight.
Yeah.
Meron.
Okay. Any further questions from our panel of evaluators?
Pwede po ba ako mag-react kanina?
Okay. Well, sir, Engineer Tanasas?
Hindi ko na intindihan yung sagot niya regarding this.
Okay. Maybe ask the TIP QC to repeat the answer on the question.
Okay, so the reason why Terminal 4 was not used in the study is because Terminal 4 only has less utilized domestic. So we did not include Terminal 4 for that, and we have to include only Terminals 1, 2, and 3 since less utilized ang Terminal 4.
Okay. So do we have any further? Okay, Dr. Pilar.
Sir John. You mentioned in your research that you did conduct an interview. Okay. My question is, was there any information provided on the status of the other gates? The reason for being unutilized? Kasi surely there must be a reason why these gates are not currently being utilized. Were you able to gather information on the status of those gates?
Sir, may I speak?
Okay, please proceed.
So the reason why, the information that we gathered from the interviews was that the gates in NAIA are not optimized, and rather they are pre-assigned to each airline. So before coming the airplanes, instead of optimizing, they just go to an assigned gate. So we do not know exactly which gates they go to. We cannot know. So the data we gathered was based on a simulation on the Pro model, which showed that it was definitely not optimized. Some gates were being used a lot more than others instead of every gate being used as much as possible.
Also, in addition to that, sir, we gathered data from Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, and Mr. Captain Philip Fortune said that the information for the gates are strictly confidential for a reason that they are strictly forbidden to be gathered by the researchers. So we limit that to our study, and we have to utilize what he has said about pre-assigned gates on the aircrafts.
At least for the usability, no? I need to know, I'm interested to know the usability of the other gates. You should have asked that question. are they usable, the other gates? Kasi kung hindi siya usable, walang meaning ang ating study kasi hindi rin in the future those gates will never be utilized.
So yes, sir. If to answer that question, sir. To answer that question, sir. The reason, what we got from the interview was that all the gates are being utilized to some extent, but not optimized because again they are pre-assigned. They are selected by the airlines before the flight even takes off. So all the gates are being utilized to some degree and can be unless there are problems, technical issues at the site. But otherwise, all the gates are usable at least.
Right. And in addition to that, sir, Dr. Danny, with our study, it is with our assumption that all gates are working. So that answers your question about the usability of each gates. They are assumed working.
On the answer relative to the utilization, if you will take a second look at your bar graphs, you will see there are gates that are zero utilization ang pinapakita. Not all gates are being utilized. There are zero utilization actually.
Hello. What is
Yes, ma'am.
actually your intervention? Because AHP has been there. So are you just trying to show the application of AHP?
Okay, to answer this, for the innovation process, we did the analytical hierarchy process, which is something new to the process in assigning pre-assigned gates to pre-assigned aircraft to gates with proper distribution as to their criteria such as wingspan, length, arrival of aircraft, and its capacity. So we have utilized analytical hierarchy process to it's a powerful technique for multi-criterion decision making. And of course, by utilizing analytical hierarchy process, we have seen from the results that it will really give 27.25% boosted impact to the passenger count from 68 million down to 93 million, which is really a great significant impact to the airport industry, airlines, and to the Philippines, as it is deemed that Manila International Airport is really the worst airport, and they are regarded as the worst airport. And sadly, it is considered as our crown jewel of the Philippines, right? So by adding analytical hierarchy process, we are going to boost the country's tourism values, as what we've mentioned earlier, and we're going to provide more revenues in airlines and the country itself, and it will promote more active travelers in the country.
Okay, so you're just trying to see the application of AHP because it's an optimization technique. Okay.
True.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much to our evaluators. And also, we would like to thank Technological Institute of the Philippines, Quezon City. Okay, so that concludes the innovation research category. So we can now proceed with the last category, which is the commercialization research category. Okay, so while still waiting for our technical team, so um, uh, this has been the 13th again. This has been the 13th year that we are doing the annual research award, and it without the help of our partners and sponsors, this will not be possible. And presentation. Okay, so we can now proceed with the commercialization research category. So the criteria for judging for the commercialization research category: technical viability 30%, social impact and relevance 20%, execution and design of packaging 20%, and the commercial viability 30% with a total of 100%. So we for this category, we also have 3 finalists. We have the University of St. Louis Tuguegarao, Samar State University, and FEU Institute of Technology. Okay, so without further ado, let's proceed with our first presenter. Our first presenter is from the University of St. Louis Tuguegarao with the research title Automated African Night Crawlers Vermicast Production, with the proponents Catherine Tio, Prince Clyde Agustin, J.V. Castellon, Rustonel Vergara, with their advisors, Engineer Erti Abanya and Engineer Ira Jane Basig. So, may we request, okay, so I think University of St. Louis Tuguegarao has presentation, so we can now start.
According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, it is definite that the economy of our region deeply relies on agriculture, with about 20.2% of the region's total area. With that in mind, fertilizers that are essential to soil became the backbone of this research. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the automated production of African night crawlers vermicasts, a socially acceptable, economically viable, and environmentally sustainable fertilizer. Vermiculture, or what we call worm farming, is the process of breeding and fostering of earthworms under restrained conditions. Vermicomposting, on the other hand, is the process of converting organic waste with the integration of earthworms into useful castings or compost. Vermicasts are organic waste produced by the earthworms from vermicomposting. African night crawlers, which are dominant in tropical countries like the Philippines, are the earthworms utilized in this research. Finally, the fish amino acid is the byproduct of the fermentation of fresh fish parts with brown sugar, which then increases the production rate of the earthworms. The design and development of the study consists of the control variable. African night crawler was considered as a major concern for vermicast production, in which their environmental conditions to sustain their growth rates are vital. To use the machine, initial bedding was placed first in the vermibed along with the worms. The user needed to feed the worms with substrates that included biodegradable materials, preferably vegetables or leaves, except for acidic fruits. The substrates were placed on the shredder compartment of the machine and were minced by a motorized driver. Simultaneously, the vermibed was poured with fish amino acid through the rubber hose with holes. The sensors measured the moisture and temperature readings of the vermibed, then were shown in the liquid crystal display, or LCD. Whenever the temperature reached 33 degrees Celsius or the moisture dropped below 60%, the microcontroller triggered the solenoid valve to water the vermibed through the PVC pipe with holes. The harvester and the sifter, driven by a high torque, are designed to rotate and sway at a low speed to gently screen out the vermiworms that came with the vermicasts. The table shows the response during the lab testing of the watering system on varied conditions. Primarily, the soil and temperature sensors perceived the continuous conditions of the vermibed, which were the sole parameter to consider in the system. When the temperature was less than 33 degrees Celsius, even if the moisture reading was acceptable, the vermibed was poured with water. Likewise, when the moisture was below the accepted value, regardless of the temperature reading, the system worked. However, no action was done by the system if the conditions were attained. During the 15 days of vermicomposting, measurements on temperature and moisture were recorded. The automated method, having moisture of 62 to 72%, indicates that the environment was controlled. The automated machine was able to maintain the moisture needed in the worm activity, through which worms thrive efficiently to moisture content with 60 to 80%. The machine was also able to provide a cooler environment from 24 to 27 degrees Celsius. Notice that more vermicast were harvested in the automated method compared to the conventional method. The production rate of vermiworms was calculated by weighing the worms in the two setups. The conventional production rate of vermiworms was calculated to be 20% more than the initial weight, while the production rate of vermiworms of the machine yielded 49%. The results manifest that by increasing the worm activity through maintaining optimum conditions and incorporating fish amino acid, the production of vermicast and vermiworm will increase. An implication on market wastes as organic substrates in vermicomposting, specifically its major nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, is 0.45%, 0.25%, and 0.18% respectively. Therefore, the analysis showed that the machine produced a higher desirable result with a total of 1.49% of nutrient content, which has a higher value than the conventional. This study developed an automated vermicast production machine, which is an all-in-one machine that aids in the production of vermicast. It comes with a substrate shredder, amino acid pourer, automated watering system, and vermicast harvester with sifter. Based on the results, it was proven that the machine provided a better environment than the conventional method. It also increased the produced vermicast and improved the nutrient content of the vermicast.
Okay, thank you very much, University of St. Louis Garao. Let's now proceed with our question and answer.
May I start the
Yes, Dr. Marquez, you may proceed.
portion? Yes. Assuming your product is commercially viable, sa study nyo, sino yung target market nyo na nilagay nyo?
Hello, good afternoon. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
it would our target customers would be the farmers, ma'am.
The farmers. Did you conduct a comparative study na kung mabebenta ito sa kanila, anong benefits ang madiderive na mas maganda kung i-adapt nila kaysa sa existing na ginagawa nila? Did you make comparative study regarding this matter?
No, ma'am, but as seen on the results, we have produced, we have simulated an automated one and a manual method of vermicast production. So from that, we have compared the results and we have produced more on the automated method.
But then this is for commercialization. Did you consider also the financial aspect? Did you consider also the financial aspect? Because this is commercialization category.
Yes po.
So, anong nangyari? Kung bibili nila, magkano? At paano sila makikinabang? Paano sila tutubo? Okay? Did you go over with this?
Yes po. Doon po kasi sa research namin, yung pagbuo po kasi ng prototype, we make use of the scrap materials. Pero po, if you consider if to be commercialized, it would take 10 to 15,000 po.
How much?
10 to 15,000 po.
10 to 15. So, sa tingin nyo, sa 10 to 15,000, malaking pakinabang nila. So, man meron kayong financial aspect. Pwede ba namin makita yun sa study nyo, yung financial aspect? Para kung ako, farmer ako, bibili ako, di ba? Hello. Siyempre, baka marami akong harvest, makakatulong sa akin ng marami. E di bibili na ako ng marami ng ganyan sa inyo, kaysa yung existing one. Sabi nyo nga, you made comparative study, di hamak na maganda inyo. Pero merong financial aspect. Dapat convince nyo kami, okay? So, I suggest you do that thing. Okay? Okay, sige. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Marquez. Okay, okay, Dr. Pilar.
Yeah, related sa tanong ni Ma'am, Marquez, ano ang price per kilogram? Did you compute that? The price per kilogram? Kasi you have to really compare the price per kilogram of your automated vermicast production as against the manual. Okay? So you need to tell us how much is the price per kilogram of the output of your automated production.
Sir, I'm very sorry, sir, but we have not taken that into consideration.
Do you have any idea how much is per kilo ng manual?
Sir, it's about as we were doing the research, we have we have we have seen that it would range from at least 35 a kilogram to 50 a kilogram, sir.
I bought almost 50 kilograms of vermicast for 25 kilos. 25 pesos per kilo.
I'd like to ask a question after.
Yes, sir. Let's proceed with the question.
Yeah, thank you. My question is related to the operating expenses, and I think this is has something to do with the inquiry of Sir, no, the evaluator ahead of me. You are proposing automated system, so it doesn't automatically mean that if it's automated, it's better, right? From a user's perspective, of course, I will prefer something that has lower overall cost to purchase and to operate, right? So don't you, so aside from, so you can you elaborate further the 35 to 50 pesos per kilo? How did you arrive at that number?
Manual yun, sir, manual.
Sorry, sir, that was for the manual. That was the price we have seen on the market as of the research.
Oh, I'm sorry. So then I will proceed to my next question is, in your, what is the operating expenses for your automated proposal? So there's a 15,000 peso investment, right, to buy the equipment, whether it's scrap or whatever. So it's a capital expense. I'm more interested to know about the operating expenses. Kasi parang yun na lang yung kulang eh. You have the output, di ba? So it's just a matter of computing how much per kilo.
Be ranging to 100 to 200 maybe for the electric bill, because on pumili po kasi kami nung mga components which is more efficient siya na gamitin para to lower the cost of electricity consumption po.
Do you have numbers to back up your claims? Kasi you're saying you're throwing a lot of claims there. It's more efficient, all of these things. Do you have numbers to support that?
Sir John, related sa tanong ni Sir Jonathan.
We have not checked for the consumption, sir. Operating expenses, sir.
Sir John. Related sa tanong ni Sir Jonathan. So what is the percent reduction in the cycle time? What is the percent reduction? Kasi in the manual, I have some data mga about 50 days doing the manual. In the automated, what is the cycle time from start to the harvesting of your vermicast? So what is the percent reduction in cycle time?
Sir, based on our 15 day of testing, we have used 500 grams of starting 500 grams of worms, and then we have produced 2.5 kilograms of vermicast.
Okay.
So what's the cycle time?
The composting takes up to 15 days po.
And the percent reduction as against the manual?
Sir, initially po kasi sir, pag manual, it takes up to 30 to 40 days po para makabuo po ng vermicast po. Pero with the help of our machine, it can take up to 15 days lang po kasi we integrated fish amino acid po.
Okay, I think Dr. Fortuna has a question pa.
Yes. Actually, it's not a question, but maybe a suggestion. There are schools already, who have studied in this field of mechanizing the vermicomposting. I suggest you also try to compare what you have done, maybe in terms of efficiency, yes, in terms of cost, and the quality of compost that you will be producing. No? Kasi ang mga tinatanong nila sa inyo, that will be very critical. No? You need to show figures in order to really win this game. Pero maganda naman because you're trying to help the farmers. I fully agree with you. But you have to be ready. Tingnan niyo yung mga naunang studies on this. Hindi ko lang siya maalala, but I know there are many schools. They already have the prototype. They try even to go into a parang yung bed na parang highly mechanized. That I have seen that before. But you try really to compare your output. Again, in terms of cost, you should be ready with that because this is commercialization. In terms of efficiency, yung conversion, if you're saying a 500 kilogram can produce 2.5 kilos, well, tingnan natin, how would you compare that? Really to win this game, pakita nyo yung sa iba, how they did it. Baka they produce from 500 kilos, they produce 500 grams, they produce 5 kilos. So wala kaming makitang parang matrix to show really that your study is better than the others. And what is more important is the quality of your compost, the quality. And siguro you should study more. Anong klase? Is it in terms of NPK or whatever? No? Thank you. Thank you, students.
Thank you very much for the recommendation.
I have, if I may.
Please, sir.
Yeah. So now you mentioned that by adding the amino acid, you were able to reduce the cycle time to 15 days. Am I correct?
Yes po.
Okay. So my question is, what is really the value of your project? Is it the fact that you added amino acid, or is it because you've automated the system? I mean, can you add the amino? I would assume you can add amino acid manually. Tama ba? Do you have any comparison based on your study on what is the effect on the cycle time and the operating expenses if the amino acid was added manually instead of automatically. And I'm only asking that because your study is entitled it's an automation project, hindi ba? So I'm just trying to establish what is the value of the actual automation to the entire project.
Kasi sa automated, base po, compared to the manual po, mas mabilis po siya because of the fish amino po. Tsaka yung controlled po yung optimum parameters. Kasi ang vermicomposting po is continuous po na monitoring. So, automating it would be much better kesa po sa manual kasi hindi po natin ma-assure if the environment was sustained.
Engineer Jan, I want to add. You are from Region 2, right? Cagayan. Maybe you can visit the big project of DOST in Cagayan. They have a project on the automation of organic fertilizer production. It's really a big project. So you might be inspired how they did it. It's now accepted or adopted by a producer. And they supply really the organic fertilizer in the area, even outside Region 2. I suggest you see those things because you are in that field. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, evaluators. And also thank you, University of St. Louis, Tuguegarao. Okay, so let's now proceed with our second presenter. Our second presenter will be coming from the FEU Institute of Technology with the research entitled Skin Complexion Recognition Using Photometric Sensor with Automated Liquid Foundation Mixer, with their proponents John Amiel Dakanay, EJ Shin David, Brian Elisan, and Mika Jorel Santos, with their advisors Dr. Romano Neira and Engineer King Harold Recto. So may we request the proponents from FEU Institute of Technology to share their screen. Okay, so I think FEU Institute of Technology is ready now to prepare their screen. May I ask the technical team to allow them to share their screen? Okay, so I think FEU Tech, you may share your screen now. Okay, so for the presentation, 5 minutes starts now.
There's no sound.
No sounds. FEU Tech. Okay. So while we're having some technical difficulties, okay, I think still there's no sound from the video.
Good day, I'm Mika Santos from FEU Institute of Technology, and I'm here to present to you our thesis paper entitled Skin Complexion Recognition Using Photometric Sensor with Automated Liquid Foundation Mixer. First of all, I would like to introduce to you what is a liquid foundation. So liquid foundation is the base on a building makeup. So people use liquid foundation to cover up their blemishes and to make their skin look more smoother in a natural way. So when choosing liquid foundation, shade of liquid foundation, it must first match your skin tone. So the very common foundation matching is done by trial and error. So other people try to get a sampler shade of a liquid foundation, then put there on a risk or on their face just to see if that shade matches their skin tone. So as you can see, it took more time. So cosmetics users increases every year. More and more people uses liquid foundation since it is the splitting black of a makeup. And since the range of skin tones are very wide, we have chosen the Velix Conclusion color chart to represent the range of skin tones. So this is the very first skin color chart made by Felix Conclusion. It consists of 1 to 36 skin tones from lightest to darkest. So the purpose of this study is to create a device with the capability to identify the skin color of an individual and mix the appropriate liquid foundation reliably and accurately. So here's the sample of our database consists of skin color from the Velix Pollution color chart, and the group we've divided the Velix Pollution color chart to 6 groups. This is based on our sensor. So our very first target for this paper is the cosmetics company. So as you can see, cosmetics company try to produce more and more shades of liquid foundation. They try to widen the range of their shades of their liquid foundation just to cover at least all of the skin tones, which is very costly for them. Some companies produces 50 shades of liquid foundation, and in reality, not all of the shades are being sold. So yes, it is more costly for them. Imagine producing just only 6 shades of liquid foundation, primary liquid foundation, and they can cover all shades of liquid foundation that the customer have or want. So our next is the makeup artist. So these are the most users of a liquid foundations. This is their job. They need to make the skin of their customers look more natural. So the shades of the liquid foundation is very important for them. But they don't have all shades of liquid foundation. So they try to have light color of liquid foundation and dark, and try to mix them and just to match the skin tone of their customer, and it takes more time and sometimes more errors. Lastly is the cosmetics user. So since we all know that our skin tone changes regularly based on their exposure on the sun. So other people try to get darker skin from time, or get lighter skin from time. So the shade of their foundation is not the same all the time. So this is the actual footage of our testing. So as you can see, we try to scan the skin tone of our test subjects. Then there will be an LCD which we can see the countdown of the testing and the output range of the test subject ranges from 27 to 29, or group 1, group 2, up to group 6. So for the results, our sensor was able to identify the max value of every test subject. So it means that it identify the RGB, and the RGB average.
We applied some computation to produce the lux value. The sensor has a 100% reliability and a 90% accuracy based on the table that we produced. So for the mixer was able to mix color for each skin shade. The mixer has a 100% reliability. So it was able to mix the scanned skin tone of the sensor. This is the sample picture of the output liquid foundation that we applied to our test subjects. So we can see that we have a highly accurate sensor, and it is highly reliable based on the results that we get. For future researchers to use or to test, what if they will use a different set of colors to be mixed? Another one is to create a new and more improved database. Also, you can use a more sensitive sensor for detection. So for our sensor that we have, it is a low-cost sensor. Using a more sensitive sensor would greatly affect the results or the reliability and accuracy of the machine. Also, you can use other microprocessors. I can say, as I say before, we use Arduino, and we wanted to maximize the Arduino itself. That's why. And if you use other microprocessor, you can more enhance your database, and you can accommodate the more sensitive sensor for detection. That would be all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, FEU Institute of Technology. We can now proceed with the question and answer portion. Evaluators?
Yeah, I have only one small question, pati isang ito bang prototype ninyo portable to?
Yes po, it's portable po.
Okay. And then my next question is, are you familiar with the patent issued to L'Oréal Paris in 2015 for a device similar to what is described in your entry?
Yes po, we are aware po.
Aware kayo.
Yes.
So, yun ba yung inspiration ninyo or what?
Yes po, it's one of our inspiration.
And then ano innovation niyo doon sa kiniklaim ng L'Oréal Paris at yung patent na ibinigay sa kanila? Ano ang pagkakaiba ninyo sa kanila?
We use different sensor, and also our machine, which is our aim. We aim a low cost machine for it to be available for even just a makeup user.
Okay, yun lang. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Okay, thank you, sir. Questions from...
Yes, if I may.
Okay, ma'am, you may proceed.
Yes. I saw your data and results. That nakalagay sa inyo doon, highly accurate. Tama?
Yes po.
And bakit sa recommendation nyo, nilagay nyo na you can use more sensitive, okay?
Yes po.
Ba?
Yes po.
Bakit nakalagay pa doon sa recommendation nyo if the thing is nagbigyan na kayo ng result na highly accurate? Ano ba ang gusto nyo pang improve? Why are you recommending to use more sensitive sensor? Ano pa ang gusto nyong improve kung highly accurate na sa resulta nyo?
Yes po. Because we say that it is highly highly accurate because of the results that we got, and also that is the we recommend more sensitive sensor because more sensitive sensor is more pricey than our sensor. Yet it will identify separately each skin tone, since our sensor just identified from 1 to 6 group. However, it is considered highly accurate. We wanted to recommend a more more sensitive sensor for it to cover at least all skin shades, not only from 1 to 6.
That's the reason why.
Yes po.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Marquez. Any other questions from our evaluators?
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Please proceed pa.
Can you tell us a bit more about how you tested it in people? Kasi I have a difficult time believing na just because the sensor says it is accurate, when that would automatically mean that when the person applies it on their skin, it would be what they expect or.
Yes po. We applied for one person. We test 3 times to make sure that our results is consistent, which is consistent. We have consistent results. We also applied on their face, exactly on their face, just to for our final product, which is the final shade of the liquid foundation. They can apply it to their face to see them for self that it is really their shade and they can use it for their makeup.
My next question is, I'm not exactly clear how the system works. So you have a sensor
Yes.
that outputs a certain value, and
Yes
then
po.
is the foundation mixed automatically, or do they tell you, oh, in order to achieve this skin tone, mix 20% of this and 80% of this, and
Ah,
you have it?
yes po. Okay, yes po. So the sensor, we use our sensor to test to see if what range does the skin tone is. So after the sensor gets the values, the Arduino, we are a microprocessor. We calibrated it, and we have some computation that we applied that based on the database that we last time, it is based on our database. So we have 6 colors. Each colors have percentage that we computed each, and that will be the all the liquid foundation, base liquid foundation will be mixed automatically after the sensor scan the skin tone.
So just to be clear, so this is like yung paint mixing system na you can find in hardware stores?
Yes po. Yes po.
Thank you.
Hello po. Curious lang ako no dun sa sensor na ginamit po ninyo. Kinonsider ba ninyo yung possibility ng allergic reactions sa skin?
Yes po.
Kasama ba ito sa program ninyo?
Yes po. One of our limitations is we cannot test those who have skin problems. Example, those who have uneven. There's a disease that you don't have you have an uneven skin tones, right? So that is one of our limitation. We cannot test them due to the sensitivity of their skin.
Okay. Follow-up question, since ang test subject natin dito is human, meron tayo kasing parang ethics, research ethics, yung parang when you test or your subject is human, I think you have to make sure na kumbaga safe yung ninyo.
Yes po.
Yung inyong or I think so kinonsider ba ninyo yon sa inyong research?
Yes po. We have we have waivers. Pina-fill up po namin siya doon sa mga test subjects po namin that they agree that we will apply this skin foundation to their face.
Okay.
If they do not agree, then we will not test them.
Okay. Sige. Anyway, pwede okay lang.
Sige, okay
Since this is under commercialization category, of course, rest assured na hindi naman ito magli-leak. Kumbaga. So kasi I'm the IPMO director ng PUP, Intellectual Property, I think I should advise you na you apply for yung patent nitong yung product. Kasi pinapresent mo na siya ngayon sa amin. So I think may risk ka rito. No? So ayun lang yung advice ko sa iyo. Thank you.
Okay.
Pwede pa ako makahabol ng isang tanong?
Okay, ma'am. Sige pa.
Doon sa sampling nyo, no, nag-test kayo, did you consider yung age ng tao na tinest nyo? Yung edad sa sampling nyo? Ilan ba ang mga tinest nyo? Ano yung edad? Ano yung age? Did you consider age as a factor?
We did not really consider not exactly the age, but if that person uses a makeup foundation, and the only we consider is if he or she is a user of liquid foundation, and also we have limited age, which is the 50, because they have uneven skin tones, more uneven skin tone and sensitive skin for them. That's why we do not test at least 50 and above. For the minimum age is at least 16 to 18 years old. That is our minimum age that we consider.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Last na lang.
Okay po.
Tatanong ko lang sa kanila kung yung FAU ba, meron ba kayong ethics committee sa research?
Yes po,
Meron. So dumaan yung ano mo, yung research mo sa kanila kasi in-apply mo sa tao di ba?
Yes po.
Dumaan.
We are applying for the patent on our school.
No, it's not the patent. Yung ethics committee. Kasi ang pagkakaalam ko, anything na research na human ang subject mo, dadaan sa ano?
Yes po.
Meron man, dumaan naman.
Yes po.
Okay, yun lang. Yun lang, salamat.
Okay. Thank you very much to our panelists, or to our evaluators rather, and we would like also to thank FEU Institute of Technology for that presentation. Now let's proceed with our third presenter. So our third presenter is actually from Samar State University with the research entitled Smart Intravenous Fluid Tracking System. Unfortunately, due to the recent typhoon, Samar State University will not make it today, and they decided not to present on the final round. So that ends, or that concludes the commercialization research category. And we'll now proceed with our judges' deliberation. May we request, I think the technical team has I think they have a breakout room for the judges' deliberation. We'll just wait for our technical team to proceed with the technical deliberation of the or for the breakout room rather. So while we are waiting, so let's watch first the video of, or the official AVP of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines.
University. Welcome to the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, the country's first Polytechnic U. PUP is a state-run university governed by the Republic Act 8292, known as the Higher Education Modernization Act of 1997, and its implementing rules and regulations contained in the Commission on Higher Education Memorandum Circular No. 4, Series of 1997. It is home to more than 70,000 students, making it the largest state university in the Philippines in terms of student population. It is the university's commitment to give qualified and talented students access to quality and responsive education to aid them in the achievement of their dreams and the improvement of their lives. True to its commitment of making education accessible to all, the university has strategically established campuses and branches all over Luzon. boasts of its roster of 1,483 full-time and part-time faculty members and 707 administrative employees. The faculty members and employees perform the collective goal of training, servicing, and supporting the university's stakeholders. Every year, around 50,000 graduating high school students, mostly from economically challenged families, take the Polytechnic University of the Philippines College Entrance Test or PUPSET and hope to become one of the 10,000 who will be given a chance to be new PUPians. At present, the university offers more than 80 programs in the graduate and undergraduate levels with its strategic direction of making the colleges vertically articulated. Graduate School, College of Accountancy and Finance, College of Arts and Letters, College of Architecture and Fine Arts, College of Business Administration, College of Communication,
Josie,
College of Computer and Information Sciences, College of Education, College of Engineering, College of Law, College of Political Science and Public Administration, College of Social Sciences and Development, College of Science, College of Tourism, Hospitality and Transportation Management, College of Human Kinetics, Institute of Technology. PUP further strengthens its open university system through expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program and the non-traditional system program. It caters to borderless educational system that aims to reach many learners as possible. For more than a century of existence, countless outstanding achievements have raised PUP to the level of a national comprehensive university. With a vision to transform the university into an epistemic community, PUP subscribes to the idea that a university should have an extensive research and extension development culture. Each year, PUP surpasses national passing rate in licensure examinations and ranks among the top in different academic disciplines. PUP has also institutionalized academic exchange and international cooperation with various countries all over the world through its Office of International Affairs. Today, PUP is relishing its successes and its students are enjoying unprecedented academic opportunities. An enhanced campus environment, upgraded colleges, state-of-the-art technology, and nationally and internationally recognized programs. It has gone far from what it was more than a century ago. This is mainly due to the support given by the government, the PUP community, and its benefactors. With the combined efforts, PUP will continue to be a partner in nation building and in poverty alleviation for the marginalized sector of the society, with quality, responsive, and relevant education as a tool. PUP, the country's first polytechnic U.
The 13th Annual Research Award would not be possible without the following sponsors: the Department of Science and Technology, National Capital Region, Nord International, the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development of the Department of Science and Technology, the Technology Application and Promotion Institute of the Department of Science and Technology, Simplex Internet, Paperlink Incorporated, Mega Review and Tutorial Center, the Federation of Alumni Associations in PUP Incorporated, UMIL, Bang Bang, L'Oreal, Goldilocks, Balmer, Oh My Grill, Fresh Mint Candy, and Esplana Engineering Review Center. Our official media partners: Inquirer.net, LYC Digital Portrait Studio, Astig PH, DRAT TV, the Communication Management Office of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, and the Information and Communications Technology Office of Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Also, we would like to thank Dr. Lincoln A. Bautista, Engineer Geoffrey T. Salvador, and the College of Engineering Alumni Association Incorporated. Also with us are our partner organizations, the PUP College of Engineering Student Council, Access, SS, PIIE PUPSC, PICE PUPSC, EEN, PSME PUPSC, PUP Rails, and PUP Aggregates. Also with us, the PUP HAM, PUP REC, PUP CES, High Gears, and Engineering Spectrum. Also, we would like to thank the 13th Araw Steering Committee, headed by none other than our president, the president of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Dr. Manuel M. Muhi, together with the Dean of the College of Engineering, Dr. Remedios Giado, The chairman of the 13th Annual Research Awards, Engineer Joselinda M. Golpeo. Co-chairman, Engineer Orlene de la Cruz. Dr. Gino Andres, together with the members of the committee, Engineer Florinda Oquindo, Professor Perla Patriarca, Engineer Joseph Rainiel Bianes, and Engineer Orlando B. Pahabera. We would like to thank our panel of evaluators for spending their time to criticize and evaluate. Also, for the steering committee, we would like to acknowledge also Engineer Rodora Buluran, Dr. Arvin de la Cruz, Engineer Faustino Rural, Engineer Guillermo Bernabe, Engineer Pedrito Tenerife Jr., Engineer Analiza Publico, Engineer Arlet de Los Angeles, and Engineer Arvin J. Austria. So, this is our time also to thank our panel of evaluators for spending their time and expertise to critique our researches or our entries for this 13th Annual Research Award. We start with Director Jose Patalinhug III, Dr. Enrico Paringit, Dr. Teresita Fortuna, Dr. Danilo Pilar, Mr. Jonathan To, Dr. Amelia Marquez, Engineer Rene Tanasas, and Dr. Gino Andres. Okay, I think are we done yet? Okay, so wala pa po. So ibig sabihin nahihirapan po ang ating mga evaluators to kung sino yung outstanding researches of the year. So for now, let's watch this video. Okay, well, still waiting for the result. Okay, so while we're still waiting for the result um, of the annual research awards, so konting advertisement daw muna from the I think this is from the College of Engineering. So the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Manila presents to you the Professorial Chairholder Lecture Series 2020. So it is a series of trainings and webinars to continuously help our instructors gain specific skills and competencies to improve their delivery of learning to our students, especially today that we are facing the pandemic and we are shifting to digitalization of our classes. So on October 29, 2020, the topic will be an enlightening journey in ushering a safe and more resilient Philippines with Dr. Francis Aldrin Uy. That will be on the 29th of October. That will be, I think that will be tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. And in the afternoon at 1:30 p.m. will be the topic will be on the considerations in designing facilities for active transport and using technology to enhance transport operations by the DOTR Assistant Secretary Maria Sheila Napalang. So to register, please click the link or please copy the link or you may scan the QR code to register. Okay? So, may mga pabate. Um, Ayan. So, well, medyo matagal pa yung ano at nagkakaroon sila ng um, I think inaayos na kung sino yung mga nanalo or kung sino yung ating mga uh, ating ranking, final ranking for this 13th Annual Research Awards. So, kumusta po technical team? At medyo nagkakagulo sila ngayon. Pero okay lang naman kasi manageable naman sila. Okay? Okay, pa. Okay? So before we proceed, pa-shout out daw po sa DRAT TV. So, sir, I think this is via the YouTube, no? So you can search DRAT TV on YouTube. And also, we would like to recognize some of the, I think some of the officials of participating colleges and universities. I think we have the Vice President for Academic Affairs of TIP, Dr. Cynthia Llanes. And we also have the Dean of the College of Engineering and Architecture of TIP. We have Dr. Jess Padilla. I was about to check the list of the participants. And Yeah, I see some familiar names also. Oh, so with us is the director of the Electrical and Electronics Institute, or Electrical and Electronics Department of the FEU Institute of Technology, Dr. Romano Neira. I think kanina nakita ko rin, I've seen the Dean of the College of Engineering of Colegio de Muntinlupa, Engineer Loveline Garcia. And also, I think also with us, some of the faculty members of the College of Engineering. Oh, by the way, we also have the Dean of the Institute of Technology of Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Engineer Amir Cruz. Hello, sir. And
Morning
also,
po. Hello.
and also we would like to ask everyone who participated on this event to answer the evaluation form found on the link below. So, okay. I think the technical team has already or is already done with the winners of the 13th annual research award. So, let's wait for. Okay, so uh, okay na? I think they're done. Okay. So, na lahat sila natatakot pumindot. So, okay. For more information, please visit our website. Okay, so the announcement of winners. Okay, so anong category yung una natin? Okay, for the scientific research category, our second runner-up goes to Elohiyo Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology. Okay. I think we can request for a photo with them, or later na lang po. Okay, later na lang po. We would like to request to open their videos later po. For the scientific research category, again, the first runner-up goes to University of the Philippines, Diliman. And the outstanding scientific research of the year goes to Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. Congratulations to Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila for obtaining the outstanding scientific research of the year. So, okay, so we can proceed with the next category. So for the innovation research category, our second runner-up will go to the Lyceum of the Philippines, University Cavite. And the first runner-up goes to, wala tayong drum roll, Technological Institute of the Philippines, Quezon City. Okay. And the outstanding innovation research of the year goes to De La Salle University, Manila. Okay. For the last category, the commercialization research category, the second runner-up goes to Samar State University. The first runner-up goes to University of St. Louis, Tuguegarao. Okay. And for the outstanding commercialization research of the year goes to FEU Institute of Technology. Congratulations. And for the final award, the outstanding research of the year goes to De La Salle University, Manila. Congratulations to all our winners. So for now, may we request for the, I think for the photo opportunity with all our, okay. So before we have the photo opportunity, um, uh, let's have this event formally closed with the message from the Vice President for Research, Extension, and Development of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Dr. Ana Ruby Gapasin.
Good morning, everyone. It is an honor for me to give the closing remarks for this very successful 13th Annual Research Awards, or ARAW. Like any worthy activity in the midst of a pandemic, the holding of this prestigious activity is a huge challenge to plan, pursue, and
Oh,
undertake
while still waiting for the,
to
okay,
celebrate its
okay.
conclusion and add another year for the enduring and rich history of science, engineering, and technology research.
Okay. Sige.
First, actually, the main
Let's wait
organizer
for
of
the message of Dr. Gapasin. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. It is an honor for me to give the closing remarks for this very successful 13th Annual Research Awards, or ARAW. Like any worthy activity in the midst of a pandemic, the holding of this prestigious activity is a huge challenge to plan, pursue, and undertake. But here we are to celebrate its conclusion and add another year for the enduring and rich history of science,
Okay.
engineering, and technology research.
While still waiting, let's have a photo opportunity with all our members, with all
Sir,
the
nagsasalita na siya.
sasalta na po. May we request the technical team?
Good morning, everyone. It is an honor for me to give the closing remarks for this very successful 13th Annual Research Awards, or ARAW. Like any worthy activity in the midst of a pandemic, the holding of this prestigious activity is a huge challenge to plan, pursue, and undertake. But here we are to celebrate its conclusion and add another year for the enduring and rich history of science, engineering, and technology research. First, I would like to congratulate the main organizer of this 13th ARAW, the PUP College of Engineering, headed by Dean Remedios G. Ado, with the dynamic members of the faculty and staff. Of course, this will not be successful without the unwavering support from the Department of Science and Technology, the endorsement from the Commission on Higher Education, and the Philippine Association of State Universities and Colleges. Mainit na pagbati po sa inyong lahat. I am also one with you in recognizing the utmost importance of continuous commitment to research and innovation, and the vital role of science and technology community in taking advantage of the opportunities that research and innovation can offer that will lead to the country's development. I also believe in providing importance of scaling up the technology to permit economic structural transformation and the implementation of engineering strategies that will draw the framework for the national development. It is also my firm belief that conducting Araw and other research awards all over the country will contribute greatly to the culture of research that every learning institution wanted to imbibe. Our collective efforts to make research a worthy endeavor have not only made our respective institutions strong and significant, but contributed a lot to the betterment of our people. It is in this spirit that I would like to congratulate the finalists and winners of the different categories: scientific, innovation, and commercialization. You did not only make yourselves proud, your families and schools, but the country as a whole. Maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na pagpapakahusay, pagsisikap at pagtiyatiyaga sa ngalan ng pananaliksik. Mabuhay po kayo, and with this year's huge success amidst the pandemic, I know the coming years will be more triumphant in conducting the annual Research Award. Isang magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Dr. Ana Rubiga-Pasin. Okay, so may we request for a photo opportunity of our committee members. I think we start first with our panel of evaluators. May we request our panel of evaluators to open their video. No. Yung panel of evaluators po muna. Okay? For a while lang po. Okay? So we'll include Ma'am Jo Golpea. Okay, I'm still looking for other.
Hindi ko maano yung video ko, sir.
Ma'am?
Hindi ko po ma-open yung video. Naka-disconnect daw ako sa host.
Wait po. Ayan, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am,
thank you.
Dr. Marquez, okay na po?
Yes, sir. Thank you po.
Okay. We still wait for Dr. Patalinhug, I think. Wala na si sir. Okay, I think we can have the. Okay. Wait lang po. Okay, let's have the picture taking. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I think searching ka na mag-picture. Okay. One more. For a while. Paano ba ito i-ano? Oops. Okay. Okay na po? Okay na? Okay. 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you very much. May we also request for the picture with our committee? So may we request to open their videos. Okay? Pwede na po for picture. Okay? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay na po. Okay na. Okay na po for picture.
Nag-screenshot naman ako.
Okay. Okay. So, again, thank you very much to all who participated, especially our research presenters, and congratulations to all our winners. And also, we would like to thank our panel of evaluators for this, for sharing their time in this event. So, to formally end the event, we will be singing the we'll be singing the hymno ng PUP. By the way, please answer the survey form for us to improve more. And I think this will be also needed for the certificate. Okay, so please do the evaluation using this link, https:///310wegm. Okay, I think we can now sing the hymno ng PUP.